Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're locking in on an absolute staple of the outdoor gear world, the Stanley Adventure Fast Flow 2-gallon water jug. If you've been to a campsite, a youth soccer tournament, or a sprawling construction site recently, you have absolutely seen this iconic rugged cooler sitting on the sidelines. But we aren't here to just admire it. We're setting up a rigorous investigation to see if this massively popular premium product truly justifies its towering reputation, or if it's, just kind of coasting on brand recognition. Okay, let's dive into this. Does it actually live up to the hype? That is the central mystery we're unpacking today. We're going to pit the manufacturer's incredibly bold, on-paper claims directly against real-world customer data. Because let's be honest, it is super easy for a brand to say their product can survive the wild. But what happens when thousands of regular people actually put it to the test out in the blistering sun or bouncing around in the back of their trucks? That is exactly what we're going to find out. To do this fairly, we need cold, hard data. 2,624. That is the sheer volume of customer ratings this specific product has received. We're not just relying on a handful of sponsored reviews here. By analyzing this massive data set, we can impartially judge its true performance across multiple metrics, looking at everything from ice retention to long-term durability. Right off the bat, the initial picture looks incredible. A whopping 86% of buyers gave this jug a perfect 5 stars, which completely propelled it to the status of the #1 bestseller in iced beverage dispensers. It's a massive win. But don't let that overwhelming green section of the chart blind you to the rest of the story. You see that 5% sitting right there in the 1-star category? We are definitely going to tease apart those negative reviews later because they contain some really surprising critical data about a highly debated flaw. All right, moving to Section 1, built for the extremes, taking a look at the manufacturer claims. Let's rapid fire through Stanley's official blueprint because these claims are undeniably impressive. They promise your drinks will stay cold for 13 hours, and if you use ice, they claim it'll stay iced for up to 2 days, even pushing up to 60 hours. They boast 100% BPA-free double-wall foam insulation. They explicitly promise a totally leak-proof experience thanks to a snug fit and strong latches meant for off-road terrain. They also highlight a high-flow, easily removable spigot that resists clogging. And wrapping the whole shebang together is their built-for-life lifetime warranty. Basically, they're promising rugged and fallible capability for practically any environment. They even add a little touch of humor in their own marketing copy, literally boasting that the removable spigot ensures last night's margarita party doesn't sneak its way into your ice water today. And honestly, that points to a very real, very practical benefit. Because the high-flow spigot comes completely off for thorough cleaning, the jug is incredibly versatile. You can use it for entirely different types of events without leaving weird lingering tastes behind. Which brings us to Section 2, the ice-cold truth, looking at customer successes. Now, what's really interesting here is the overwhelming statistical proof of Stanley's success in its core mission. Out of 264 specific mentions of temperature retention, a staggering 243 of them were positive. Users are constantly confirming that this jug absolutely excels at keeping things cold. Quality is another massive win for them, with 186 positive mentions to just 6 negative. So the data definitively shows that for maintaining cold temperatures, offering a high-quality build, and delivering great capacity, the real-world experience aligns perfectly with the marketing hype. To really put those statistics into perspective, check out this extreme real-world anecdote. User Heather Zimmerman down in South Texas reports that in temperatures well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, this jug keeps water cold for up to 24 hours. And that brilliantly illustrates why these metrics actually matter to us. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, a construction worker, or maybe a coach out in the blazing summer heat, this level of reliable insulation isn't just a fun luxury, it is an absolute necessity. But wait, how do you actually hit that wild 2 days iced claim? Let's walk through a super fascinating experiment by a user named Cappy. Cappy tested the jug in a 75-degree house. Standard ice cubes melted in just a few hours. A large 32-ounce block of ice lasted about 6 to 8 hours. But, and here's the kicker, when Cappy used frozen yogurt cartons filled with solid ice, at hour 11, they were still half their original size. This tells us something vital. This jug uses double-wall foam insulation, not the vacuum insulation you'd find in smaller Stanley cups. So the type of ice you use drastically changes the reality of that 60 hours iced claim. Big, solid blocks of ice are literally the secret to maximizing this cooler's potential. Moving to Section 3, where it falls short. Let's look at the critiques and flaws. So the crucial point is that no product is perfect, and our data reveals a significant flaw. We are looking at the most highly debated metric in the entire dataset: leakage. While Stanley explicitly claims the jug is leak-proof, out of 217 mentions regarding leakage, the negative experiences, 116 of them, actually outnumber the 101 positive ones. So even though the general seal of the lid gets mostly positive marks, the specific issue of the jug leaking fluid is a major point of contention among buyers.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates that divide. User Sky says it fits perfectly in the back of their Tahoe, it's rolled around, and they've experienced absolutely zero leaks. Awesome. But then you have user Chelsea, who points out that it isn't completely leak-proof even with those strong latches. The data really suggests that while the 4 exterior latches are incredibly strong, leaks often happen because of a loose inner knob behind the spigot, a dripping front nozzle, or just failing to properly close the tiny air vent on the top lid. Basically, it requires careful user operation to actually stay dry.
Real quick, before we move on to our final verdict, we do need to briefly mention the durability critiques. Now, most users absolutely praise its tough build, but out of 106 total mentions of durability, 36 were negative. Some users, like the one quoted here, received cracked products or experienced cracks on the inside bottom of the jug after a year of use. It's worth remembering that Stanley's lifetime warranty theoretically covers these exact types of manufacturing defects, but the real-world inconvenience of having a cracked jug out in the field is a reality for a small percentage of buyers.
All right, let's wrap this up. Section 4, the final verdict. Is it actually worth it? First off, keep this number in the back of your mind. 16. That is roughly how many pounds 2 gallons of water weighs. So, while the jug features a really sturdy top handle, lugging a fully loaded 16-pound, 2-gallon Titan from your car all the way across a sandy beach or a massive sports complex is a pretty serious workout in itself. Yes, it's highly portable in its design, but hey, physics still applies.
So, summarizing our final verdict, the data proves a very clear point. If your primary goal is serving a massive amount of ice-cold hydration to a crowd, whether that's at a hot job site, a family picnic, or a tailgate, this jug is highly effective, well-built, and purposefully designed for portability. The temperature retention is absolutely top tier, provided you use the right kind of ice.
Which leaves us with this final, crucial question for you to consider. Does your next adventure truly demand a 2-gallon Titan to keep the whole crew refreshed, or are the heavily debated leaks a deal-breaker for the backseat of your vehicle? You now have the data, you've seen the extremes, and you know the realities to make an informed choice. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.